بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Muhammad Nuruddin Lemu. I'm Director for Research and Training at the Da'wah Institute of Nigeria, Islamic Education Trust, MENA. I'm also a Director of Lotus Capital Limited, which is a halal investment equity fund. In this episode of financial literacy and the basics of an entrepreneurial mindset, we'll be looking at the question of creativity and how we overcome challenges in order to take advantage of situations that many people run away from. How we look at challenges. I'd like to start with a little story. There was a king who was one-eyed and one-legged. So he wasn't very handsome in the eyes of many of his community. He was a great king. He was one of the best they had had. However, somebody said, "Your Majesty, in the corridor of the palace, we have pictures of all the past kings and your various relatives and members of royalty, but we don't have your own picture. Everybody has a really beautiful picture drawn of them, but we don't have a picture of your honorable self. Why don't we have a picture of you?" And the king said, "Kai, but you know, I don't want to be seen up there with my one eye and my one leg." The man said, "Sir, it's not a problem. You know, who cares about whether you have one eye or one leg? So long as it's you and we are proud, fine. That even a king with one eye and one leg was able to do all the good you did. You lost your eye in battle. You lost your leg in battle. You know, it's not your fault. It's something we want to be proud to remember." But some people were, "Kai, no, how can we have our king like that, etc., with others who look, you know, nice and handsome and all of that?" And the king gave up. He said, "Okay, let's go and get some artists and let them draw. Let them draw a portrait of the king." So the Grand Vizier, like the chief minister, invited artists from all over the land to come. And he told them, "You are going to draw the king. However, I want you to draw the king in such a way that he looks more attractive and more handsome than all the portraits on the wall. You all know the king has one eye and one leg. I don't care how you are going to do it, but you have to prepare a drawing that is so good looking that the king will be proud of it and everybody will be happy. Whoever does so, I will give you a great reward. But anybody that draws something that the king is angry with, I will punish you." So a lot of the artists came from all over the country and they came to see the king. And when they came, some of them had never seen the king themselves. And they saw him one by one. Each one of them started giving one excuse why they will not be able to do the drawing. This one said, "You know, really, I left my family at home. They are in need. I have to go back." Another one saying, I wasn't feeling very well. I need to go." This one saying, "My parents have been left. This kind of drawing will take a long time." Everybody came with their reason why they were not going to be able to draw the king. One artist said, "Sir, I will take the challenge. I will draw the king. I will make a portrait of the king." Others looked and said, "Man, you are going to suffer for no reason." No. He said, "No problem. I will do it." The minister asked him, "Okay, how long will it take you to finish your drawing?" He said, "Give me 1 week." Fine. So it was announced that everybody should come in 1 week and the king would look at the drawing, and based on that, they would decide what kind of reward they are going to give the artist or punishment. A week passed. Word spread around the whole kingdom. People from every angle wanted to come and see what kind of drawing this person was going to end up with. When the day came and the portrait or picture was to be unveiled, everybody gathered, ministers, all royalty gathered to see, what kind of picture is this going to be? They have a king that has one eye with a scar, one leg, and everybody is to look and say, wow, at this picture, what is this person going to draw? The time came and the artist removed the cloth from the canvas, from the drawing, big drawing of the king. And everybody said, wow, wow, this is the best drawing we have ever seen of any king. What did this man draw? He drew the king sitting on a horse with a bow and arrow. But the way he drew it, the leg of the king that had been cut off was on the other side of the horse, so he didn't need to draw it. And as the king was drawing his bow and aiming with his arrow, of course, he showed one eye. What this artist did was to turn what others were looking at as a weakness, as a defect, and turn it into an advantage. He made a lot of money. He got so many people wanting him to make drawings. He became the richest artist in the land. How? Because he was able to think differently. Some would say, think out of the box. Some would say, think without a box. Others will say, think differently but within the box. But the key thing is to think hard, to search for what is good in what you are looking at. To not look at what is not good, but to look at it in a way most people don't. What are the kind of things that most people run away from? Currently, we are in the new world of COVID-19 times. There will be new markets open. There will be new demands. There will be new players, new competitors. Some people are making a lot of profit from the current COVID-19 times. Those who are selling masks and hand sanitizers, some of them have become multi-millionaires over the last 2 to 3 weeks. Some people have made millions and millions from selling data and recharge cards. So ask yourself, who is actually making profit in these times? What services have this period made more valuable? Some people selling food, and people have very little time after curfews and after shutdown to go and see all the people they want to see. And somebody is sending food. If you want, just call and they will bring the food to your place. Somebody who has his barber's shop, but everybody is afraid of going to the barber's shop because of COVID-19. The barber now comes, disinfects himself and everything around you, is wearing a mask, asks you to wear a mask, and he does your personalized work at a lower price. Why? Nobody is coming to his shop. But he is now taking advantage of it and finding new markets, new demands. The key point is, who is making it now? Who else is making it? More people are now moving to Android phones. More people are realizing that they don't have enough electricity to charge their batteries for all the extra time they are spending on social media. Battery chargers are now moving. So many things. It is important to remember that this is not the first time human society has been met with a pandemic or an epidemic or earthquakes or things that scatter the normal running of society. But some survive, the most creative. Those who don't stay complaining but ask themselves, what advantage can we bring? What value can we add to the current situation? There's another interesting story of a king who told his son to go up the mountain where there's one elderly gentleman, a great teacher, who will teach him some wisdom that he will find useful when the time comes when he becomes king. So the little prince, the young man, went up the mountain. It took him a whole day to get to the very top. Finally he got there. Spent 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. And the elderly man who was there spoke to him a little, told him, just observe where you are. Told the young man, listen to the sound of the forest. Listen to the sound of the forest. And the young man said, listen to which sound? I already know the sounds of the forest. The elderly person said, no, you've not heard the sound of the forest. Go and listen more intensely. This young man was too impatient. He just came to the old man one morning and said, Oga, I have to go. I just think I'm wasting my time. The old man patiently said, no problem. Let's go down. However, just before we go down back to the village or where the town is, let's just walk a little bit to the top of the mountain together. The young man said, no problem. And they walked to the very top of the mountain. And the man asked the young boy, what do you see? He said, I see other mountains. I see the horizon. I see clouds. I see rivers in the distance. I see the tops of trees. I see clouds. I see birds in the air. I can hear the wind blowing. I see distance. He said, okay, let's go down. And they started walking down. After some hours of walking, the old man asked the young man, now what do you see? Young man said, I just see tree trunks. I can see some leaves. I can hear the sound of birds. Said, what else do you see? Nothing much, leaves. Can you see the sky? No. Can you see other mountains? No, I just see forest. Can you see rivers? No. Can you hear the sound of the wind the way you are hearing it? No. Do you see the birds flying in the air? No, not that type. Said, good, let's keep on walking. And they continued. When they got close to the village, close to the bottom of the mountain, the old man said, okay, stop. What do you see now? He said, I can see the rooftops of houses. I can hear the sound of somebody hitting something. I can hear in the distance the sound of children playing. I can hear the sound of poultry and a cow. Less trees. He said, good. Then he told the young man, I'll leave you here, but I want you to remember something. You didn't get to hear the sound of the forest. I want you to understand, just as when you are at the top of the mountain, what you see and what you hear is different from when you are at the middle of the mountain, which is different from what you see and hear at the bottom of the mountain. So also in life. Every perspective you have is just one perspective. There's always another perspective. And he told the young man, when you become one day a king, you have to remember, whatever you see is only from your perspective as a king. Just as whatever you see is from your perspective as a child now. There are many perspectives to reality. And one perspective is not all. And even when somebody is standing in front of you, you can only see their side that is facing you, not the other sides. Insha'Allah, we will go on a short break. And when we come back, I'd like us to look at what lessons we can get for business purposes by looking at things from different perspectives. Assalamu alaikum.